Imagine a land where fire and ice live side by side, where volcanoes breathe beneath glaciers, where waterfalls crash with thunderous power, and where the midnight sun refuses to set. Welcome to Iceland, a place that feels less like a country and more like another world. Here, black sand beaches stretch endlessly against roaring Atlantic waves. Glaciers carve valleys that tell stories thousands of years old. Geysers erupt like clockwork, painting the air with steam, while lava fields remind us of the Earth's raw and untamed energy. But Iceland is not just about nature, it's about wonder. It's about the warmth of small villages tucked in dramatic fjords, the legends whispered through sagas of Vikings and hidden elves, and the modern spirit of a nation that thrives in one of the harshest yet most beautiful landscapes on Earth. This journey will take you across every corner of this island, through fire-lit craters, shimmering lagoons, thundering waterfalls, and towns that seem frozen in time. So sit back, because we're about to explore one of the most breathtaking places on the planet, the land of fire and ice, Iceland. Fagradalsfjall. What if I told you there's a place where you can watch the Earth being born? Welcome to Fagradalsfjall, Iceland's headline-making volcano that brought fire back to the surface after sleeping for 6,000 years. Tucked into the Reykjanes Peninsula, just a short drive from Reykjavik, this once quiet mountain exploded into life in March 2021, lighting up the sky with lava that reached over 1,200 degrees Celsius, hotter than molten steel. It wasn't the violent kind of eruption you see in disaster movies. No, this was a shield volcano, known for its slow, steady lava flows that looked more like glowing rivers than explosions. And people didn't run from it. They ran to it. Within weeks, over 350,000 people, nearly the size of Iceland's entire population, hiked to see it. Families, photographers, tourists, scientists, all gathered to witness one of the safest and most surreal volcanic eruptions in modern history. The lava, thick, black, and mesmerizing, flowing at densities of up to 2,800 kilograms per cubic meter. It built new land right in front of everyone's eyes, creating glowing valleys and steaming hills where none had existed before. And it didn't stop there. Multiple eruptions followed in 2022, 2023, and 2024, each one reshaping the landscape. Some lasted days, others weeks. But every time, Fagradalsfjall reminded us that Iceland is still forming. It's young, restless, alive. The site quickly became one of Iceland's top tourist destinations, drawing visitors from around the world. Safe hiking paths were built, viewing platforms marked, and you didn't need to be an expert explorer to reach it. Just a good pair of boots and a sense of awe. And let's be real, how many places let you get this close to a volcano safely? Fagradalsfjall isn't just a volcano. It's a natural theater. A front row seat to Earth's creative power. And as Iceland sits on the mid-Atlantic ridge, where two tectonic plates are literally pulling apart, you can bet this won't be the last eruption. So if you're dreaming of witnessing raw nature in motion, this is it. Here the Earth doesn't whisper, it roars. Litli Hrútur. Imagine walking across a quiet lava plain in Iceland, when suddenly the ground cracks open and fire begins to rise. Welcome to Litli Hrútur, the little mountain with a big temper. Located just 30 kilometers southwest of Reykjavik, Litli Hrútur is part of the Reykjanes Peninsula, one of Iceland's most active volcanic zones. But here's the wild part. This volcano had never erupted in recorded history, until July 10th, 2023, when it stunned the world by roaring to life. And it wasn't just any eruption, it was massive. Lava flowed for over 10 kilometers, and the eruption site stretched more than 900 meters wide. The lava fountains reached up to 50 meters high, and the surrounding air sizzled with temperatures nearing 1,200 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt steel. Thousands of curious travelers and scientists rushed to see this rare event. In fact, over 10,000 people hiked the 20-kilometer round trip just in the first week. But it wasn't without risk. Emergency teams had to constantly monitor poisonous gases like sulfur dioxide, which can be deadly if winds shift suddenly. What makes Litli Hrútur even more fascinating is how it connects to a bigger picture. This eruption was part of a seismic swarm, hundreds of earthquakes shaking the region due to tectonic tension between the North American and Eurasian plates. Iceland is literally being torn apart beneath your feet. The name Litli Hrútur might mean little ram, but don't let that fool you. This volcano is fierce, unpredictable, and beautifully destructive. Today, even after the eruption has quieted, the area is a living, steaming landscape. You can still see fresh lava fields, cooling craters, and vents breathing out sulfur like the earth itself is exhaling. For Iceland, Litli Hrútur isn't just a volcano, it's a reminder that this island is alive, constantly changing and full of fire beneath the ice. Vatnajökull. Deep in the heart of Iceland lies a frozen giant, Vatnajökull, the largest glacier not just in Iceland, but in all of Europe. It's so massive it covers about 8% of the entire country. That's over 7,900 square kilometers of ancient ice, enough to bury the whole of New York City more than once. But don't be fooled. Beneath this icy armor, there's fire brewing. Vatnajökull sits atop a chain of active volcanoes, including some of Iceland's most notorious, like Grímsvötn, Bárðarbunga, and Jökull. This makes it one of the few places on Earth where fire and ice literally coexist. And when those volcanoes erupt, they don't just shoot lava, they send massive glacial floods called Jökullaups crashing across the land. Walking on Vatnajökull feels like stepping into another world. Its ice caves shimmer like blue crystal cathedrals, formed by meltwater carving tunnels through the glacier's belly. These caves change shape every year, which means no two visits are ever the same. And it's not just a feast for the eyes. Scientists flock here too, because this glacier is like Earth's memory card. Each icy layer holds clues to past climates, stretching back thousands of years. It's a living archive of Earth's history, and a warning system for our planet's future. But perhaps the most surreal part? Despite the harsh environment, over 400,000 people visit Vatnajökull and its surrounding national park every year. They hike across its windswept ridges, marvel at its 1,000-meter thick ice, kayak past floating icebergs in Jökulsárlón, or even snowmobile right above active volcanic zones. Here in this frozen kingdom, everything is alive, the ice breathes, the earth shifts, and the silence tells a story louder than words. Vatnajökull isn't just a glacier, it's Iceland's icy soul. Northern Lights. Have you ever looked up and seen the sky come alive? Not with stars, but with waves of green, purple, and pink light dancing like spirits in the night? That's not a dream. That's the Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis, and Iceland is one of the best places on Earth to witness this breathtaking show. Here, far from the city lights under Iceland's wide Arctic sky, the auroras shimmer like curtains of energy. It's not just beautiful, it feels otherworldly. Locals say no two shows are ever the same. One night might be soft, glowing arcs. The next, a full-blown light storm that makes your heart race. But what are these lights really? Let's break the magic down. The Northern Lights happen when charged particles from the sun crash into Earth's atmosphere. The result? A cosmic dance of atoms and energy, mostly oxygen and nitrogen, glowing in surreal colors. Usually green, sometimes pink, red, even violet. And thanks to Iceland's location just below the Arctic Circle, it's in the auroral oval, a prime viewing zone. But timing is everything. From late September to early April, Iceland enters its aurora season. The long, dark nights offer perfect conditions, especially in rural places like Thingvellir, Vik, or the Westfjords. And guess what? Iceland is one of the few countries where you can even see the lights from a hot spring, like at the secret lagoon or Mývatn nature baths. Here's a fun fact. In Norse mythology, the auroras were believed to be reflections from the shields of Valkyries, the warrior maidens guiding souls to Valhalla. Want to chase the lights like a pro? Always check the aurora forecast. Yes, that exists. And make sure the sky is clear and the solar activity is high. And remember, no matter how cold or late it gets, the moment you see those first colors ripple across the sky, you'll forget everything else. It's one of those rare sights that stays with you forever. So, when the land of fire and ice whispers to you on a winter night, look up, the sky just might answer. Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon. What if I told you there's a place where icebergs float like ghosts, seals swim past ancient blue giants, and the landscape looks like another planet? Welcome to Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon, Iceland's crown jewel of ice and water. Tucked at the edge of Vatnajökull National Park, this stunning glacial lake formed only around the 1930s, when Jökull, an outlet of Vatnajökull, the largest glacier in Europe, started retreating, and it's still retreating. As the glacier melts, massive chunks of ice break off and drift into the lagoon. Some are as tall as buildings, others small and polished like crystal glass. The lagoon is deep, over 248 meters or 814 feet, making it Iceland's deepest lake. But what truly makes Jökulsárlón magical is the ever-changing view. No 2 days here are the same. The icebergs glow in hues of turquoise and deep sapphire, and as the sun hits them, they shimmer like diamonds. But this isn't just a still postcard scene. The lagoon is alive. You'll often spot seals bobbing their heads, lounging on icebergs like they own the place. In summer, Arctic terns and skuas circle overhead, fiercely protecting their nesting grounds. And below the surface, cold, nutrient-rich waters that support a surprisingly rich marine ecosystem. And here's the kicker, those icebergs, many of them slowly drift out to the Atlantic Ocean through a short river, but before they disappear forever, they wash up on Diamond Beach, just across the road. That's right, giant shards of ice scattered across black volcanic sand. It's like nature's version of a red carpet event. Because of its beauty, Jökulsárlón has starred in several Hollywood blockbusters, including James Bond's Die Another Day, Tomb Raider, and Batman Begins. But you know, no film can capture the silence, the chill in the air, and the soft cracking sounds of icebergs as they drift past. Want to get closer? Boat tours run in the summer, letting you sail between the bergs. Some are the size of cars, others like floating fortresses. And yeah, don't forget your camera. Every shot here is once in a lifetime. But beneath all the wonder, there's a reminder too. This lagoon is growing. Climate change is melting glaciers faster than ever. So when you visit Jökulsárlón, you're not just seeing beauty, you're witnessing change. Still, for those lucky enough to stand on its shores, Jökulsárlón isn't just a place, it's a feeling. Silent, vast, humbling, and absolutely unforgettable. Reykjavik. The name might sound distant, but this city feels surprisingly close to the heart. It's the capital of Iceland. And yes, it's the northernmost capital of any sovereign nation on Earth. Perched at just over 64 degrees north, Reykjavik isn't just a city, it's a statement of resilience, beauty, and balance. With a population of around 140,000 people, it holds nearly 2/3 of Iceland's total population, and yet, it never feels crowded. Over 2 million tourists visit yearly, drawn by its unique blend of urban energy and natural wonders. There's a peaceful rhythm to life here. No blaring horns, no towering skyscrapers, just clean, crisp air, and the distant echo of waves against the harbor. And speaking of clean, this city is almost entirely powered by nature itself. 100% of Reykjavik's electricity and heating come from renewable sources, mainly geothermal and hydro. Hot water literally flows from the earth to the taps. Even the sidewalks in winter, they're geothermally heated. Ice doesn't stand a chance. At the center of it all stands Hallgrímskirkja, Reykjavik's iconic church, inspired by Iceland's basalt lava columns. It rises 74.5 meters into the sky and offers one of the best views of the city, colorful rooftops stretching to meet distant snow-capped mountains. Art and music pulse through the streets. Reykjavik has given the world names like Björk and Of Monsters and Men, but it's not just about fame. Every corner cafe seems to hum with live performances and local expression. And when the sky darkens from September to April, the northern lights often visit the city, turning the night into a glowing spectacle. Imagine stepping out of a cozy cafe and looking up to see the sky rippling in green and violet fire. This city doesn't shout, it whispers, and if you listen closely, it tells a story of how nature and humanity can live side by side, in harmony. Gullfoss. In the remote northeast of Iceland, there's a place where nature doesn't whisper, it roars. Welcome to Gullfoss, Europe's most powerful waterfall. You don't hear it before you see it, you feel it, a deep thundering pulse in the earth. Then, through the mist, there it is, a 45-meter drop with a wall of water crashing down with unbelievable force. Over 193 cubic meters per second surge over the edge. Every second. That's like 80 Olympic swimming pools every minute. Fed by meltwater from the Vatnajökull glacier, the river Jökulsá carries silt and volcanic ash, turning the water a dramatic gray-white. It's not a gentle cascade, Geothermal is raw, untamed energy. So powerful, in fact, that NASA once used the surrounding landscape to train astronauts for the moon landing. You stand at the edge and the world goes quiet, except for the deafening roar. There's no gift shop here, no fences, just you, and one of Earth's greatest forces right before your eyes. Geothermal isn't just Iceland's wildest waterfall, it's a reminder of how fierce, beautiful, and alive our planet really is. Geyser geothermal area. In Iceland's Jökulsárlón Valley, the Earth doesn't just sit still, it breathes. Welcome to the Glacier geothermal area, home to some of the planet's most dramatic hot springs. Here, the ground hisses, bubbles, and steams like a living creature, and right at the heart of it is Geysir, the very geyser that gave all geysers in the world their name. Though the Great Geyser itself now erupts rarely, its neighbor Strákur steals the show, sending boiling water up to 30 meters into the air every 5 to 10 minutes. This area sits on a geologic hotspot where magma deep underground superheats groundwater. The result? Pools shimmering in surreal blues, vents spitting steam, and the unmistakable smell of sulfur in the air. The water here can reach 100 degrees Celsius at the surface, so close is the heat of the Earth's core. It's a place where you feel the raw pulse of the planet, an otherworldly landscape that's been amazing travelers for over 1,000 years, and honestly, it'll keep doing so for thousands more. Kirkjufell. On Iceland's Snæfellsnes Peninsula, a lone peak rises from the coastline like something out of a fantasy film. This is Kirkjufell, the Church Mountain, often called the most photographed mountain in Iceland. Standing 463 meters tall, its perfectly symmetrical shape has made it a star in countless photographs, and even appeared in Game of Thrones as the Arrowhead Mountain. But it's not just the mountain that draws visitors. The nearby Kirkjufellsfoss waterfall, with its 3 graceful tiers, creates one of the most iconic landscapes in the country. Kirkjufell's unique shape comes from the Ice Age, when glaciers carved the surrounding valleys, leaving this dramatic peak standing alone. In summer, green slopes reflect in the still waters below. In winter, it's a backdrop for dancing northern lights, with snow dusting its ridges. And despite its beauty, Kirkjufell is also known for being one of Iceland's most challenging climbs. Its steep, rocky slopes require skill and care. Still, most travelers are content to admire it from below, capturing the magic of a mountain that looks almost too perfect to be real. Akureyri. At the very edge of the Arctic Circle, where snow-capped mountains plunge into deep blue waters, sits Akureyri, a small city with a soul as vast as the fjord it guards. Just 20,000 people call it home, yet it's Iceland's second-largest city, and the heartbeat of the north. Tucked at the end of the 60-kilometer-long Eyjafjörður Fjord, Akureyri has thrived for centuries as a fishing and trading port. Here's the twist: you'd expect brutal winters this far north, but thanks to the North Atlantic Current, its harbor almost never freezes even when icy peaks surround it like silent sentinels. The streets are alive with splashes of color, red-roofed houses, art galleries, and the striking Akureyri Church, its twin towers watching over the town. And then there's the Botanical Garden, a living miracle. Despite the Arctic setting, it nurtures over 7,000 plant species, from hardy Icelandic moss to blooms you'd expect to see in far warmer lands. But Akureyri isn't just beautiful, it's adventurous. This is the launch point for whale watching in the fjord, where humpbacks twist and dive beneath the waves. From here, roads lead to the otherworldly Lake Mývatn, the roaring Dettifoss waterfall, and volcanic landscapes that look like another planet. In summer, the midnight sun spills gold over the harbor, making night feel like day. In winter, the aurora dances above, painting the sky in green and violet. Akureyri may be small on a map, but up here in Iceland's north, it feels like the center of the world. Vestmannaeyjar. Off Iceland's south coast, scattered like emerald jewels in the Atlantic, lies Vestmannaeyjar, the Westman Islands. This volcanic archipelago of 15 islands and about 30 sea stacks holds just over 4,500 people, all living on the main island, Heimaey. But the islands hide a dramatic history. In 1973, Eldfell volcano erupted without warning, forcing the evacuation of the entire population. Lava surged toward the harbor, and in a bold move, Locals pumped millions of liters of seawater onto it, saving the town and its fishing industry. Nature here is as wild as its past. The cliffs host Iceland's largest puffin colony with millions of birds each summer, and the surrounding seas teem with whales and orcas. But perhaps the most curious sight? On the tiny island of Elliday, there stands a single white house, alone in a vast green field. No neighbors, no roads, just ocean all around. It's not a mysterious hermit's home as rumors say, but a private lodge for a local hunting association. Still, it's one of the most photographed and talked about places in Iceland. Vestmannaeyjar is a world where volcanoes, seabirds, and human resilience share the stage, an Icelandic story told on a smaller but no less spectacular scale. The country where mosquitoes don't exist. In Iceland you can hike, camp, or sit by a lake in summer, and never once slap your arm or swat the air. Because here's the strange truth. There are no mosquitoes, not one. Why? It's all about the climate. Mosquitoes need steady warmth and standing water to breed, but Iceland's weather plays a clever game, freezing, thawing, freezing again, often multiple times in one season. This constant stop-and-start cycle interrupts their life cycle completely. Even in summer, temperatures are too unpredictable for them to survive. The result? While other countries battle swarms, Icelanders can enjoy summer nights outdoors without a single bite. It's one of those rare, natural luxuries that makes Iceland feel even more magical, and maybe just a little kinder to its visitors. No trains in Iceland. Here's a fact that surprises almost every traveler. Iceland, despite being one of the most visited countries in the world, has no trains at all, not a single railway line. The reason? Nature itself has the final say here. The island's rugged volcanic terrain, shifting lava fields, and sparse population make building and maintaining railways almost impossible, and not really practical. Instead, Iceland's roads and domestic flights connect its towns, with the famous Route 1 ring road looping around the whole country. And honestly, when every journey takes you past waterfalls, glaciers, and black sand beaches, who needs a train window when you've got an entire country as your view? Kerlingarfjöll. Hidden deep in Iceland's central highlands, far from the comfort of city lights, rises Kerlingarfjöll, a geothermal wonderland that feels like the earth has peeled back its skin to reveal molten veins beneath. Here, mountains shimmer in surreal shades of gold, orange, and rust, formed from rhyolite rock in violent volcanic eruptions thousands of years ago. Steam drifts from fissures in the earth, curling into the cold highland air, while rivers born from melting glaciers snake through the valleys. In summer, temperatures range from a brisk 5 degrees to 12 degrees Celsius, wrapping the landscape in a cool freshness as hikers wander through hot springs and bubbling mud pots. But in winter, when the mercury plunges far below zero, the mountains vanish under a blanket of snow, becoming an isolated, frozen kingdom few ever see. Covering 100 square kilometers and crowned by peaks as high as 1,477 meters, Kerlingarfjöll is one of the rare places where Iceland's two greatest forces, fire and ice, meet face to face, creating a scene so otherworldly it almost feels alive. Skogafoss. Thundering down from a height of 60 meters and stretching an impressive 25 meters wide, Skogafoss is one of Iceland's most breathtaking waterfalls. The sheer power of its flow creates a constant mist, and when the sunlight hits just right, magical single or even double rainbows appear, like nature's own light show. The waterfall is fed by the Skoga River, which originates from the glaciers Eyjafjallajökull and Mýrdalsjökull, giving Skogafoss its endless supply of icy waters. And legend says that behind this curtain of water lies a hidden treasure chest, left by a Viking settler named Thrasi. Locals even claimed that part of the chest was once found, but slipped back into the depths of the falls. Standing at its base, the roar is so powerful you can feel it vibrate through your chest. And for those willing to climb the 527 steps to the top, the view stretches endlessly across Iceland's south coast, a reward that makes every step worth it. Skogafoss isn't just a waterfall, it's a place where myth, power, and beauty collide. Reykjavíkur Hot Springs. Just a short hike from the town of Hveragerði lies one of Iceland's most magical spots, Reykjadalur, or Steam Valley. Here, the earth literally breathes, hot steam rises from cracks in the ground, and the air smells faintly of sulfur. But the real wonder? A naturally heated river where you can actually bathe? The water temperature ranges between 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, like soaking in a giant outdoor spa, surrounded by rolling green hills and bubbling mud pools. It feels unreal, warm water rushing past you while cool mountain air brushes your face. Reykjadalur isn't just about relaxation though. The valley sits on a geothermal hotspot, part of the same volcanic system that fuels Iceland's famous energy supply. Every step here reminds you that Iceland is alive, powered by fire beneath your feet. A place where nature gives you both adventure and a soothing bath. Fjallsárlón Canyon. Deep in South Iceland lies a canyon so breathtaking it looks like something pulled straight from a fantasy film, Fjallsárlón Jökulsárlón. Carved by glacial meltwater nearly 2 million years ago, this canyon stretches about 2 kilometers long and plunges almost 100 meters deep. Its moss-covered cliffs twist and turn like a giant green dragon sleeping on the earth. The river Fjadra still flows at its base, continuing the slow work of carving this masterpiece. Fun fact, after Justin Bieber filmed a music video here in 2015, the canyon saw such a spike in visitors that it had to be temporarily closed to protect its fragile moss. Standing at the edge, you don't just see a canyon, you see time itself written in stone. Eyjafjallajökull. In 2010, a name the world struggled to pronounce, Eyjafjallajökull, suddenly dominated headlines. This massive ice-capped volcano, rising 1,651 meters high, erupted with such force that it sent an ash cloud across Europe, grounding nearly 100,000 flights and stranding millions of travelers. Beneath its glacier lies raw volcanic power, and when that fire met ice, it created explosive plumes of ash that reached up to 9 kilometers into the sky. Locals witnessed floods of melted ice rushing down valleys, while the rest of the world felt its impact from afar. Today, Eyjafjallajökull sits quietly, its snow-white crown hiding the fiery giant beneath. A reminder of how one small island can shake the entire planet. Loki Crater Area. In the heart of Iceland's highlands lies Loki, a volcanic fissure that changed the course of history. In 1783, this area erupted for 8 straight months, spewing out rivers of fire and clouds of ash so vast they darkened skies across Europe. The eruption released so much lava, over 42 billion tons, that it covered 565 square kilometers, the largest lava flow in recorded history. The aftermath was devastating. Toxic gases killed livestock, famine swept through Iceland, and the haze even lowered global temperatures. Yet today, the Loki Crater area is hauntingly beautiful. Moss-covered lava fields stretch as far as the eye can see, silent reminders of nature's raw power. Walking here feels like stepping onto another planet, where every stone whispers the memory of a world-shaking eruption. Landmannalaugar. Deep in Iceland's highlands lies Landmannalaugar, a place so colorful it feels like the earth decided to paint with fire. Here the mountains glow in surreal shades of red, orange, green, and even purple, colors born from ancient rhyolite lava flows. It's not just scenery, it's a geological masterpiece sculpted over thousands of years. But Landmannalaugar isn't only about the views. This region sits inside the Fjallabak Nature Reserve, where steaming hot springs bubble at the foot of the mountains. In fact, the name itself means the people's pools, and for centuries travelers have soaked here to recover after long journeys. Even today, hikers reward themselves with a dip in the natural geothermal baths after exploring the rugged trails. And speaking of trails, Landmannalaugar is the starting point of the legendary Laugavegur Trek, one of the world's most famous multi-day hikes, stretching 55 kilometers across glaciers, volcanoes, and black sand deserts. In summer, thousands of adventurers arrive from around the world to walk this otherworldly landscape. But in winter, the highlands are so remote, they're almost inaccessible. What makes this place truly magical is the contrast. It's both raw and welcoming, harsh and healing. Standing here, surrounded by rainbow mountains and steaming pools, you realize why Landmannalaugar is often called the crown jewel of Iceland's highlands. Thorsmork. Deep in Iceland's highlands, hidden between three mighty glaciers, Eyjafjallajökull, Mýrdalsjökull and Tindfjallajökull, lies a place that feels straight out of a Viking saga, Thorsmork, or Thor's Valley. Here, emerald birch forests suddenly burst out of black volcanic sands, rivers twist like silver ribbons, and jagged cliffs rise as if carved by Thor's own hammer. The contrasts are honestly just breathtaking: lush green against ice, fire-shaped rocks against pure silence. Hikers from around the world flock here, thousands every summer, to walk legendary trails like Laugavegur and Fimmvörðuháls, where you can literally step on lava fields created by the 2010 eruption of Eyjafjallajökull. In summer, the midnight sun lights up the valley in gold. And in winter, Thorsmork becomes so remote that reaching it feels like, well, venturing into a lost world. Standing here, it's easy to see why locals say Thorsmork is not just a valley. It's the heart of Iceland's wilderness, where nature still whispers the old Norse myths. Blue Lagoon. In the middle of Iceland's lava fields lies something that looks almost unreal: the Blue Lagoon. Its milky blue waters shimmer against the black volcanic rock like a jewel hidden in the earth. But here's the twist: this world-famous spa wasn't a natural wonder at first. It was born in 1976 from the runoff of a geothermal power plant. People discovered that the water, rich in silica, algae and minerals, worked wonders for the skin. Today, it's one of Iceland's most visited attractions, drawing over 700,000 visitors every year. The water stays a soothing 37 to 40 degrees Celsius, that's about 98 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, just perfect for relaxing while steam rises into the crisp Icelandic air. And, with the surrounding lava fields, it honestly feels like you're floating on another planet. The Blue Lagoon isn't just a spa, it's proof that sometimes even human-made accidents can turn into natural treasures. Carid Crater. Deep in Iceland's Golden Circle lies a site that looks almost otherworldly: Carid Crater. This volcanic crater, nearly 3,000 years old, is a giant bowl of red volcanic rock, about 55 meters deep and 270 meters wide. At its heart rests a stunning lake that glows in shades of turquoise and emerald, a color contrast so vivid it feels unreal. Unlike most volcanic craters formed by explosions, Carid was created when a magma chamber emptied and collapsed in on itself, a rare phenomenon in geology. The water inside isn't from rainfall but from groundwater seeping up naturally, meaning its level stays consistent year-round. Standing on the rim, you can feel the silence of ancient fire and earth, while gazing down at water so calm it mirrors the sky. Some even call Carid the Eye of Iceland, watching over centuries of history. Goðafoss. They call it the waterfall of the gods, and when you see it, you'll understand why. Goðafoss, a crescent-shaped curtain of water, plunges 12 meters high and 30 meters wide into a turquoise pool, creating a roar that echoes through northern Iceland. But it's not just nature's power that makes this place legendary. Around the year 1000 AD, Iceland's law speaker, Þorgeir Ljósvetningagoði, cast his statues of the Norse gods into this very waterfall, marking the nation's historic conversion to Christianity. So when you stand before Goðafoss, you're not only watching water crash over ancient lava, you're looking at a place where Iceland's history itself took a leap of faith. Maelifell Volcano. Rising like an emerald pyramid in a desert of black ash, Maelifell Volcano is one of Iceland's most surreal sights. This cone-shaped volcano, standing 791 meters tall, was left behind after the last ice age when glaciers melted away. What makes it truly unique is its surface, covered in bright green moss that flourishes only in the summer, glowing against the dark volcanic sands of the Mýrdalsjökull glacier plain. It's so remote that you can only reach it by 4x4 in summer, when melting ice reveals its otherworldly beauty. For many travelers, Maelifell feels less like Earth, and more like stepping onto another planet. Katla Volcano. Hidden beneath the Mýrdalsjökull glacier lies one of Iceland's most feared giants, Katla Volcano. With a crater nearly 10 kilometers wide, Katla has erupted at least 20 times in the last 1,100 years, usually every 40 to 80 years. The last big eruption, 1918, over a century ago, making scientists watch it with uneasy eyes today. When Katla erupts, the melting ice can unleash catastrophic glacial floods, with torrents carrying more water than the Amazon River. It's a reminder that beneath Iceland's beauty, immense power is always waiting. Hraunfossar. Flowing quietly through a black lava field, Hraunfossar is unlike any other waterfall in Iceland. Instead of plunging from a high cliff, it seeps out of the porous Hálmundarán lava, hundreds of delicate streams spilling into the turquoise Hvita River. The name literally means lava falls, and it stretches for nearly 900 meters, creating a magical lacework of water across the dark rock. Fed by glaciers like Jökull, the falls sparkle year-round, changing shades with the seasons. Standing here, it feels less like raw power and more like nature's poetry carved in stone and water. Vestfjords. Rising sharply from the Atlantic coast, Vestfjords looks like something straight out of a fantasy movie. Its jagged peaks, some reaching 454 meters high, are often called the Batman Mountain for their dramatic wing-like shape. Located on the Stokksnes Peninsula in southeast Iceland, it's one of the country's most photographed spots, and for good reason. Here, black volcanic sand dunes stretch endlessly, sometimes dusted with snow in winter, while waves crash at the base of the mountain. On calm days, the wet sand turns into a giant mirror, reflecting the peaks in perfect symmetry. And when the northern lights glow above, Vestfjords feels otherworldly, like a portal to another world. Westfjords. Far from the crowds, tucked away in Iceland's northwest corner, lies the Westfjords, a region where nature still feels raw and untouched. Covering nearly 9,000 square kilometers, it's one of the most remote parts of the country, home to less than 7,000 people. Imagine dramatic fjords carved by glaciers, towering cliffs like Latrabjarg, where millions of puffins nest each summer, and winding roads that seem to lead straight into the ocean. The Westfjords are also where you'll find Dynjandi, a breathtaking waterfall often called the Jewel of the West, cascading 100 meters down in layers like a wedding veil. Hot springs bubble in quiet valleys, Arctic foxes roam freely. It's the only place in Iceland where they're protected. And in winter, the skies dance with the northern lights. Fjallsárlón Glacier Lagoon. Tucked at the base of Vatnajökull, Europe's largest glacier, lies the quieter but breathtaking Fjallsárlón Glacier Lagoon. Here, enormous chunks of ice break away from the Fjallsjökull glacier tongue, drifting across a still, glassy lake. Unlike its famous neighbor Jökulsárlón, this lagoon feels untouched, more intimate, almost secret. You can hear the crack of ice, the gentle splash as it turns in the water, and sometimes even see the pale blue glow inside the icebergs, formed over centuries. Surrounded by snow-capped peaks and complete silence, Fjallsárlón feels like stepping into another world, raw, wild, and frozen in time. Hvammafjall. In northern Iceland, near Lake Mývatn, rises a massive black circle that looks like it was carved by giants. This is Hvammafjall, a perfectly shaped volcanic crater. Formed around 2,500 years ago in a single explosive eruption, it stretches nearly 1 kilometer across and towers 420 meters high. Standing at its rim feels surreal, like walking on the edge of another planet. From above, the crater resembles a giant bowl of ash, with sweeping views of lava fields in the Mývatn region. Despite its violent birth, today Hvammafjall is calm, offering visitors a chance to step into Iceland's deep volcanic past. Sólheimasandur plane wreck. On the black sands of Iceland's south coast lies a haunting sight. The wreck of a United States Navy DC-3 plane that crash-landed here in 1973. Miraculously, everyone on board survived, but the aircraft was left behind, slowly becoming part of the landscape. Surrounded by nothing but endless black sand, the silver fuselage looks otherworldly, almost like a scene from a sci-fi movie. Today, it's one of Iceland's most photographed landmarks, a powerful reminder of survival and, honestly, the raw beauty of desolation. Víðsökur. On the shores of northwest Iceland rises Hvítserkur, a 15-meter-high rock that looks almost alive. Some say it resembles a dragon drinking from the sea, and others see a giant troll frozen by the sunrise, turned to stone forever, as legend tells. Its base is reinforced to withstand the waves, and seabirds perch on its jagged edges, giving the drinking dragon a crown of wings. Hvítserkur isn't just a rock, it's a living myth carved by time, tides, and imagination. Vik. On Iceland's southern coast lies Vik, a small village of just over 300 residents, yet it's home to one of the country's most dramatic landscapes. Step onto Reynisfjara Black Sand Beach, and you'll see why it's world-famous. The jet-black volcanic sands stretch into the distance, while towering basalt cliffs rise like a cathedral sculpted by nature. Out in the sea stand the legendary Reynisdrangar sea stacks, dark pillars of rock said by folklore to be trolls turned to stone. The waves here are some of the strongest in Iceland, roaring and crashing with untamed power, a reminder of nature's raw force. In Vik, beauty and danger dance side by side, making it one of Iceland's most unforgettable places. Kolgrafafjörður. Tucked into the Snæfellsnes Peninsula lies Kolgrafafjörður, a narrow fjord where the sea once turned silver with millions of herring, attracting whales and clouds of seabirds in a living storm of nature. Stretching across it is the striking Sword Highway Bridge, its sharp lines slicing through the landscape like a blade. Together, the fjord and the bridge tell a story of contrasts. Wild, ancient forces of nature meeting bold, modern design in one unforgettable Icelandic view. Seyðisfjörður. Tucked between steep mountains and cascading waterfalls, lies Seyðisfjörður, a colorful gem on Iceland's east coast. Its wooden, pastel-painted houses line narrow streets, with the famous rainbow path leading to the Blue Church at its heart. Once a busy port for traders, today it's a haven for artists, hikers and travelers arriving by ferry from Europe. Surrounded by fjords that mirror the sky, Seyðisfjörður feels like a storybook town, where history, art, and nature meet in perfect harmony. And that was Iceland, the land where glaciers meet volcanoes, where legends live in every canyon, and where nature reminds us just how powerful and beautiful our planet truly is. From the thundering waterfalls to the quiet magic of hidden valleys, every corner of Iceland feels like stepping into another world. If this journey inspired you, then don't let it end here. Make sure to subscribe to Nature Sky, hit the like button, and share this video with friends who dream of exploring the extraordinary. Because this is just the beginning. There are so many more wonders waiting for us across the world. Until next time, keep exploring, keep wondering, and I'll see you in the next adventure.